thought process of the 200 on the men's side. And because we're coming off where Noah Lyles wins his fourth consecutive gold medal. And I think for the most part, most people can agree that this has been like the Noah Lyles era of the 200. Even though he doesn't have the Olympic golds, it's like he's medaled every single time since, 2019, and he has four world championship golds. But you have Bryan Levell, who just, he got a bronze medal, his first world championships at least, and kind of went crazy through the rounds with 19.8, 19.7, 19.6, which is kind of wild. Obviously, Letsile is a gold medalist from the Olympics last year. Kenny B just got another silver medal. I wonder if going into 2027, 28, if we're going to see someone actually take Noah Lyles down. And if it's like the idea that, okay, people are getting tired of seeing him win. Or is it just like he's just so talented, even as years go on, that like none of these guys, let's see, like Kenny, Bryan, are actually going to be able to take him down in the 200, and maybe even someone else who I'm not even like thinking of. Mm,
I mean, it's hard for me to say that they can't because we just saw that last year in Paris. So I think the blueprint's out there, and I think it depends on Noah what his approach is. So if he wants to get back into winning the 100-meter gold again, I do think that his focus shifts to the 100, and that slightly hurts his two. Um, and then he's vulnerable, right? So I think because he went so hard on the 100 last year, um, like whether you believe the COVID stuff or not, like he clearly wasn't himself even through the rounds. Like normally he's a guy that just is oozing energy, running crazy fast times in the semis and just like breezing, especially in the 200. And last year he lost, I believe he was in the same semi as Tebogo.
hmm
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he
Yeah,
lost
was.
every round. Every
yeah,
round he was coming off the turn behind in each round.
yeah, yeah. And Tebogo looked better in the semifinal. He looked easier, he looked smoother. And then, Noah tried to run him down in the finals, and you're not going to do that. If Tobogo's ahead, he's just too strong, especially running with, 44 low, the 300 world record and all that stuff. And I just think that the gap has been closing and closing, closing. So if you look at his titles, like his first one in 2019, which I was in that final, he went 19-8 to win his first title.
hmm
Then 20 22 again
22, yeah.
Eugene,
The
he was on
19-3,
demon
yeah.
time. Yeah, he was on demon time. Like this guy was Euro stepping across the line in the prelims, running 19.9, ran 19.6 in the semi, and then 19.3 in the. It was just like he was just on a mission, coming off that loss in Tokyo. 2023, he ran 19.5 again,
Yeah.
but it just seemed like nobody else was up to the task to take him on. Right, silver medal was Arian, I
Ariane.
believe.
Yep.
Yep,
Ariane and then
19.7.
Zarnell. Or no, it's Ariane and then Letsile. Yeah.
Yeah, and then let's see.
Yep.
So now in Paris, you got guys, Kenny's running 19.6, 19.5 pretty consistently. You got
hmm
Tebogo doing the same thing, 19.6, 19.5. He's touched the 19.4 before. Bryan Levell now into that 19.6 territory. So it's like the gap is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Even Zarnell getting fifth,
Yeah,
19.7.
which is
Like
crazy.
just the level of the competitors is just rising. So no only one, he went 1952 and Kenny went 1957, I think, this
Yeah,
year.
57.
1958, something like that.
58?
Yeah,
Yeah. And then
Like that.
one
Lavelle
of
was
those two.
60 low. So these guys are right there. And it wasn't a foregone conclusion. At one point I thought Kenny was gonna take it, and then Noah etched it out at the end at the line. But I just feel like the field is starting to catch up, especially with these new guys. Lavelle coming into the mix. And then who knows by 2027, 2028, what these Zimbabwe guys turn into,
Yeah.
what Gout turns into. Who knows? There could be some random American guy that comes out. Maybe Courtney Lindsay drops down into like a 19.6. But like the point is not he's not the margin of error is getting slimmer and slimmer.
hmm
In 2022, I think it was at its peak where it's just like Noah just running away with it. And unless Ariane was going to run that 19.4 again, nobody had a ghost of a chance. And now it's like, okay, he's running with 19.5s, but other guys are close. There's other 19.5, 19.6 guys in the vicinity. And so for him to replicate again in 2027, he's going to have to really focus on that too. And something tells me he's going to go chase the 100 again because, as he said, the 100 matters more than the two.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm gonna take a slightly different take or like a position on it, but it's not because I think that Noah's unbeatable, but I see the facts from a different angle. The
Mhm.
facts to me are it's Noah Lyles' race to lose, and everybody knows that. There was no part of me that thought Kenny would win in that race. I'm sorry to tell you. I'd watched Kenny lose to Noah too many times in the 200, where if
That's fair.
Kenny's in front, Noah's winning this race. That's just how I
Mm.
felt because
Mhm.
it feels like Noah is controlling the race. And I'm saying that because I recognize that it feels like time trials from the outside, but I think all of us know because we've all run 200, at least at the college level. I mean, you definitely ran them on a higher level, but we understand that there's a component to this race where when you're in the fire and people are around you, everybody doesn't run quite the same.
Yeah.
And that's why, again, the projection game doesn't hit me well because I've watched people not project. I watched Arian Knighton be in the same place 3 years later. I watched Kenny B be in the same place 3 years later.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so when we say let's wait and see how it goes, you might still be here. It doesn't mean
Mm.
that you might not be a better sprinter, more consistent, all of that. But because this is a sport where we're only evaluating you on one race for the most part when we talk about the greatness,
Yeah.
like I think the greatness of like the improvements of a Kenny B, for example, showed up all throughout the season.
Yeah.
I think that's where we get to see him be better. But unfortunately, hey, if you left it up to me, we'd redo this structure where we could now that would matter. But this doesn't matter because he technically just has to show up at the Worlds and get in that final. Now, I think Noah this year was more vulnerable than he's likely going to be
Mm.
in 2027 or 2028. Let's just assume, because I never wish injury on anybody.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
let's just put everybody on, the top that
Max
like
health.
them being at their best.
Yeah.
I think this year, just for what the facts were, he was more vulnerable. He didn't run as many races. It just was what it
Mm.
was. Him winning USAs to me was all I needed to know the 200 was done
Mm.
because he was supposed to lose USAs. Just being straight. It was the time that was the one 200 I was prepared for him to lose
Mhm.
because I really did believe Kenny was going to hold him off on that. But it wasn't because I thought Kenny was going to run something he'd never run before. As much as I was like, I don't think Noah's going to run what he can run. I think he may not be that guy yet.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of me, kind of like there's a standard, and I've yet to see anyone show that that they can surpass that standard.
Okay.
I don't review the Paris Games like I'm in the camp that says that wasn't Noah Lyles in that race. I think on sheer willpower he got that bronze medal, which is a testament to however much talent he actually has, because I think most other athletes never even would have been in that final. And that would have been, I mean, it would have been okay. I mean, obviously the world goes on, but he fought his way to a bronze, and then people came up with reasons to try to pile on him.
Yeah.
Like I think that's kind of like that. I think that's kind of how the narrative played out. Where if he had just not run it, then they would have been like, okay, well he's hurt, he didn't run, and it would have been I mean, some people still have something to say, but I think the narrative wouldn't. I think he got more flack for running and getting
They would
bronze.
say he's
I really
scared.
think, yeah, I think he got more flack
Yeah. Yeah.
for
Yeah.
running and
Yeah.
getting bronze though
Yeah.
than like if he had pulled up hurt in a race or something like that, and like they
Yeah.
saw him
Mm.
injured or. I think that's kind of where we're at, but I mean, again, I could be missing it. I think the standard is can you go faster than that standard? I haven't seen anybody show me that when he's on it, you're
Yeah.
getting him.
I
Okay.
think. Oh, go ahead, Aaron.
I just real quick. I just want to counter that because okay. So to me, it seems like, especially, it's a perfect comparison because Bolt went on a run where he was winning everything until he wasn't in 2017, when obviously it was old age and people got the best of him. But he had that standard, and I think he also had that boogeyman reputation where no matter how far ahead you were, you just know Bolt's coming. And Lyles is in the same echelon in the 200, where I think he wins some races just off the strength of we know he's a closer, and no matter how far ahead you are, you can't count him out. Winning USA trials was that a reputation win. I think winning the Diamond League final when he beat Tebogo was a reputation win, and even you could argue Worlds was as well. But my thing is, do you expect him to still meet that standard in a 2027 and 2028 where he can bring out the 1950 no matter what? And if you're going to beat him, you have to be on the other side. which we haven't seen anybody do other than at the Olympics.
Let's see, like, yeah.
Yeah, do you still believe that he's going to be able to pull that off and nobody will be able to be on the other side?
Hmm. Well, I mean,
Because the
yeah,
reputation wins start to run out, as we saw with Bolt, right? Like Coleman was staring him down in the semifinals, like, okay, you're Bolt, but like I'm the young new guy.
yeah. I
And it
mean,
seemed like he wasn't afraid. Like he's like, my starch is gonna gap you and you won't be able to run me down.
yeah. I want to hear what Anderson has to say. I'll just for fact purposes, 2017 Bolt, because I just looked at these numbers. Bolt fe- Bolt was no longer at the standard at that point.
Right.
There was nothing about 2017 Bolt that resembled the guy. Again, like the chinks in the armor were showing up in 2015 and 16,
Mm-hmm.
but 2017 when he clearly had taken he ran that season the way Shelly Ann ran this season
Yeah.
in terms of like at that point she was no longer the same athlete. But remember, he's falling off from being so much further ahead of y'all
Yeah.
that it didn't like he could still be in the game
Mm-hmm.
even if he I think that's the real question is in 2027, 2028, do we think Noah's going to be there?
No.
Because I don't think he's
But
going to be there at that time, which is why
right.
I don't think we're talking 1950. I think if he had to run 1940 in that world final, he would have. That's how I believe it. I
Okay.
think the energy of what they're giving, because
Yeah.
he ran what he had to run to beat Kenny at
Yeah.
the USA's. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever it was he had to do, that's what it was. And if the standard was set different, he would have just ran that.
Yeah. I just don't
Yeah.
know. Like the compression starts to happen, the later you go on, and you've been winning so much. Eventually, the field starts to figure out, okay, we're getting closer and closer, closer. How do we get over the edge? And in 2027, 2028, we might get to that. But I want to hear from Anderson too.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think I agree. I feel like the gap is going to close a little bit because I feel like feel like this. I'm I'm on Coach Rob's side where it's like if Noah had to run 19.4 in Tokyo, I feel like he would have done that. He would have done what he needed to do to win the gold medal. But I look at Bryan Levell and I look at Letsile Tebogo as like Bryan Levell didn't have to watch Noah Lyles this whole generation of like, okay, this guy is like the guy who keeps winning. He came out here and ran a personal best in the final, and I think he doesn't care about like what's happened in previous years. He's going to go into 2027 and be like, hey, this is still a fresh opportunity for me. I just came off my first championships and got a bronze medal, like running 19.6. I think he's going to look forward and say, I can drop something. I'm going to drop something even better. Also, Letsile, yes, Noah, dealt with COVID, he dealt with setbacks or whatever in Paris, but he got a taste of what it's like to actually be on top. And now, obviously, he dropped back this past championships, but he knows what it's like to get on top. And I know that he wants to get that feeling once again. And he's still, both Brian and let's see, like are 21, 22 years old. So they're both extremely young. And on top of that, like to the point where Tokyo was so fast. This World Championships was so fast that yes, I believe Noah would have done what he needed to do to be able to win, whether it's 19.4, whatever it may be. But I feel like this standard for the 200 is just going to continue raising as we get into the next cycle, where 30 year old Noah Lyles, now I'm not as confident that he's going to be able to drop a 19.5, a 19.4 to be able to win against Letsile, if Letsile runs a personal best, Noah has to essentially get close to the American record again, right? If Brian starts to like push up, then Noah has to literally run one of his best times ever. That's where I'm seeing like the problem for Noah, and to the point of if he's bogged down, obviously he's shown that he can double and he's more than capable of winning medals at both. He's done it, 3 times now at this point. But if you're 30 years old and you're running a double, Usain Bolt was 30 years old in 2016, and that was his last time doubling. Like that was the last time. Obviously, he got golds, but 2017 we saw, just the little bit of the drop off. I'm not sure that Noah is going to be able to maintain that level coming off dealing with Kashane, dealing with Oblique, dealing with all those guys in the 100 to then circle back and run a 19.4 or even run a 19.5, like he's been able to do. That's where I'm looking at. I do agree with you, Coach Rob, though, that it's like this is Noah's race to lose, and it's still like he kind of does control things, but I can see like 2 years down the line where it's not as easy of a path for him to maintain that gold medal. My name is Anderson from The Final Leg.
And I'm Coach Rob from SCA Track and Field. And thank you for watching this segment from The Finish Line.
If you want to know what's really going on at the high school and college level, be sure to subscribe to Coach Rob Track and Field.
And if you want more content on the best track and field athletes in the world, be sure to subscribe to The Final Leg.